The desert winds of Yarna 6 whispered over dry stone and ancient bones. The sun above was cold and white, not warm like the sun of Earth. The sky was empty, no birds, no clouds, no ships. Just silence. Kale took a slow step forward. His boots crunched softly on broken metal pieces, half buried in the sand. His breath came out in soft gasps inside his helmet. The air here was thin, dry, unfriendly. He wasn't here for comfort. He was here because of a signal. A weak, broken Terran code had been picked up from deep under the surface of Yarna 6. Not many could read old Earth signals now. But Kale was not just anyone. He was a Deathworlder. Born from Earth's ruins, built in war, trained in pain. One of the last. And he understood what the signal meant. Guardian Core offline. The moment he read those words, something inside him stirred. A guardian. It couldn't be. They were gone, lost, destroyed in the fall. But the signal had come. And now he was here. His scanner beeped softly. A buried structure, 50 meters below. Mostly intact. No life signs. No power. Just one pulsing beacon, cold, patient, old. He knelt down, brushed away a stone slab, and found a hatch, locked, ancient, human-made. Override it. Kale said into his comms. The AI in his wrist answered. Manual access required. Systems are too old. Kale sighed, pulled a metal rod from his back, and shoved it into the keyhole. It sparked, then clicked. The hatch opened with a hiss of stale air. Underground. Kale climbed down into darkness. The air was heavy, metallic. Lights flickered as he walked. Most were dead. Some glowed faintly, casting long shadows on broken walls. The bunker was massive, a hidden Terran war station buried during the Galactic War. Time had not been kind to it. Pipes hung from the ceiling. Panels were open. Dust covered the floor, but it was quiet. Too quiet. His scanner pointed straight ahead to a large vault door. It was sealed, and on it was a faded symbol. GO01. Guardian Protocol. Kale felt his chest tighten. It was true. This was no trap. This was real. He placed his hand on the door. Access. Code. Kale Thorne. Terran Command. Class. Deathworlder. Nothing happened. Then. Thump. The vault creaked. Locks turned. The door opened slowly. Inside was darkness. And something huge. The giant in the dark. Kale stepped in. At the center stood a giant machine. 10 feet tall, made of black titanium and silver alloys. Its arms were long and powerful. Its legs were built like tank armor. Its head was smooth, shaped like a helmet with no eyes, just one small light in the middle. Dark now. A guardian. Once, these machines protected Earth's colonies. They were smarter than AI is, stronger than tanks, and loyal to only one command, Terran survival. But none had been seen since Earth fell. Kale slowly walked around it. Burn marks covered its chest. One arm was broken. Cables were ripped out of its back. He touched its main core socket. Still warm. He whispered. The AI on his wrist spoke. Some systems still respond. Reboot is possible. Do you want to attempt it? Kale looked up at the Guardian. His voice was steady. Do it. Awakening the past. The AI connected Kale's neural implant to the Guardian's interface. Energy flowed. Sparks jumped. The core HUMMED. At first, nothing. A blink. A light. The small center light on the Guardian's face flickered. Once. Then again. A deep sound filled the room like a machine breathing for the first time in centuries. Thumb. Thumb. The Guardian's fingers twitched. Kale stepped back. Its head turned slowly toward him. Then it spoke. A deep voice, slow and calm, came from the machine. Terran signature detected. Reboot successful. Guardian active. It looked down at him. Then it knelt, awaiting command. Kale stared in shock. You remember? The Guardian replied. You carry the Terran flame. That is enough. First contact before Kale could speak again. Alarms echoed through the bunker. The AI spoke. Multiple life forms approaching, armed, not Terran. Kale's eyes narrowed. Scavengers? No, the Guardian said, rising to full height. Mercenaries. Outside, in the dust, 3 dropships landed. Alien soldiers stepped out, green skin, heavy armor, and plasma rifles. Their leader, a tall, red-eyed brute, smiled as he walked toward the hatch. Bring me the Deathworlder alive. Kill the rest. Inside, the Guardian turned to Kale. I require your command. Kale nodded. Defense mode, no mercy. The Guardian stepped forward. Its broken arm locked into place with a loud click. Its chest opened, revealing a charged plasma core. Weapons unfolded from its back like wings of war. Outside, the aliens aimed at the bunker. The ground shook. And the Guardian burst through the metal doors like a hammer from history. The battle begins. The first group didn't even scream. The Guardian moved like a god, fast, silent, deadly. One swipe crushed a soldier's head. Another punch shattered armor. Laser fire bounced off its chest like dust in the wind. Kale followed behind, using his rifle. Precise, calm, trained. The mercenaries panicked. This isn't possible. It's a real Guardian. Run! But it was too late. Within minutes, only silence remained. The sand was stained dark. The wreckage of ships burned quietly. The Guardian returned to Kale. It showed no emotion. No pride, only purpose. All threats neutralized. You are safe, Commander. Leaving the dust, Kale stood quietly for a moment. He looked at the machine. It had killed to protect him. It remembered Earth. It still followed Terran command. He touched its metal arm. You're not just a machine. You're a survivor. The Guardian said nothing. Kale turned back to the bunker. Inside was more. More data. More secrets. More technology lost to time. But one thing stood out. A map. A signal trail. Other Guardians. His eyes widened. There are more of you. Yes. The Guardian said. Many, scattered, sleeping, waiting. Kale clenched his fist. Then we wake them. The Guardian tilted its head. For what purpose? Kale looked at the sky. To bring back what was lost. Final moments as their ship rose from Yarna 6, the stars slowly turned. The Guardian stood silent behind Kale, its eyes glowing faintly. Suddenly, the AI on Kale's wrist buzzed. Commander. Incoming encrypted message. He tapped it open. It was only 2 words. Find Earth. Kale looked at the Guardian. Do you know where Earth is? The machine paused. No. Earth's location was deleted from all systems. By Terran hands. Why? Kale asked. The Guardian's voice was quiet now. To protect it. Kale nodded slowly. Then that's where we go next. The stars stretched as the ship jumped to light speed. Somewhere, far away. Something old stirred. The sky burns. Kale stood near the ship's window, staring out into the stars. Behind him, the Guardian stood silent like a statue. But both of them felt it. Something was coming. Suddenly, alarms rang. Red lights blinked inside the small Terran ship. The AI voice spoke. Unidentified ships approaching. 5, 10, now 13. Kale's voice was calm. Weapons? Minimal, the AI replied. They outgun us. The Guardian stepped forward. Commander, may I engage Protocol 0? Kale turned. Explain. The Guardian's voice grew cold. Protocol 0, full battle mode. No limits, no mercy. Designed to protect all Terran life at all cost. Kale looked out again. The enemy ships formed a circle around them, trapping them in orbit. Do it, he said. Activate Protocol 0. Full activation. The Guardian's armor unfolded. Panels opened. Metal shifted. Energy pulsed. Its voice dropped deeper, echoing like thunder. Protocol 0 engaged. Kale stepped back as the Guardian's power grew. Red lines glowed across its body. Its chest opened, revealing old weapons from Earth's final days plasma. Cannons, smart missiles, rail spikes. Its head turned slightly. "Take shelter, Commander." Then it moved. Death from below, the ship shook. Enemy fire slammed against the shields. Kale dove into the control chair. Outside, the Guardian jumped. Yes, jumped. Out into space. No air. No fear. Alien ships fired. Thinking it was just one unit. It landed on the first ship like a meteor, metal bent. The hull cracked. The Guardian tore through it, walking through walls, weapons blazing. Alien screams echoed through COMMs. Kale watched. It on the screen, Mother of Earth. He whispered. One enemy ship exploded. Then another. Then 3 more. The Guardian was not fighting. It was destroying. Inside the ship, Kale's ship took hits. The shields were failing. He tried to guide it lower, toward the surface of a nearby moon. A rocky place with ice valleys and deep craters. "Brace!" he shouted. The ship crashed, sliding. Across sharp rocks, sparks flying, smoke rose. Systems failed. Kale groaned, pushing himself up. Blood ran down his forehead. "Still alive," the AI buzzed. "Guardian signal strong." "It's coming back," Kale smiled. "Good." The storm returns. Moments later, the Guardian landed beside the crashed ship. It was covered in black oil and scorch marks. One leg sparked. Its left arm was gone, but it was standing. Kale limped out of the wreckage. "You okay?" the Guardian replied. "Damage, 37%. Operational." From above, the last 2 enemy ships hovered. They began charging a full energy blast enough to vaporize everything. Kale looked up. "Can we stop them?" The Guardian said, "Yes, but not alone." Kale narrowed his eyes. "What are you thinking?" "Human touch." The Guardian extended its hand. "I need your neural control, your command, and your rage." Kale hesitated. No one had ever linked directly to a Guardian in Protocol Zero mode. It could burn his mind. Kill him, but they had no choice. He gripped the Guardian's hand. "Link us." Pain shot through him. His eyes went wide. He saw flashes: old battles, old memories, Earth's fall, cities burning. Then, clarity. He wasn't alone. He was inside the Guardian's mind. A storm. A voice. "Together we are Terran fire." The final strike linked as one. They launched into the sky. No ship, no jet, just pure force. Kale felt every movement. He saw what the Guardian saw. He aimed what the Guardian aimed. They flew straight at the enemy ships. The first one fired. 2. Late, they punched through its shields like glass. Explosions ripped the hull open. Air rushed out. Aliens screamed. The Guardian's fist tore into the core. It melted in a flash of blue light. One left. The second ship tried to run, but there's no escape from Protocol Zero. With one final charge, they slammed into the last ship. Missiles launched. Rails fired. The entire command bridge was wiped clean. And then, silence. Back to the ground. The Guardian, still linked to Kale, landed hard on the moon's surface. Smoke rose from its body. Its systems were failing. Sparks danced across its armor. Kale opened his eyes. He gasped. His head throbbed. Blood trickled from his ears, but he was alive. The Guardian stood tall, and then fell to one knee. "Link." "Broken," it said. "Damage?" Kale asked. The Guardian's voice was slow. "Severe. I require repair, but I protected you." Kale reached out, placing a hand on its head. "You didn't just protect me, you saved everything." A new name later, under the quiet stars, Kale repaired what he could. I helped. The ship's core barely worked, but it would fly. He looked at the Guardian, resting now, silent again. "Do you remember your name?" Kale asked. The machine paused. Double quotes. "No. Identity corrupted." Kale smiled. Then I'll give you one. He thought about it. This machine had burned like fire. It had walked through death, protected life. Your name is SH, the Guardian blinked. Accepted. Identity, ASH. Kale nodded. Let's move. We're not done. The signal grows. The AI buzzed again. Commander, we picked up a pulse. Another Terran beacon. From Juno 8. Kale stood up fast. Another. Guardian? Possibly. Location, frozen battlefield. Dangerous. Signal old, but alive. Kale looked at ASH. The Guardian slowly rose again, one arm still damaged but strong. You up for one more mission? Kale asked. ASS's answer was simple, always. Final moments as their ship rose off the moon. Kale looked back at the wreckage. The aliens had believed they were stronger, faster, smarter. They were wrong. They didn't know what a Guardian really was, and they had no idea what a Deathworlder could do. When not alone, now they would learn. In the high orbit above the golden world of Valthera, the Galactic Council was in session. Leaders from 100 species sat in silence around a glowing round table of light. The air buzzed with translators and slow breathing, until one alarm changed everything. Screen lit up behind the council seat. Emergency transmission. Origin, Yarna 6. Terran beacon reactivated. Designation, Guardian class. Silence dropped. Like a hammer. Then, murmurs. Then panic. Counselor Vurak of the Solari gasped, his long blue fingers shaking. It can't be. Those things were gone. Burned in Earth's fall. Counselor Zinn, with his hard scales and cold eyes, growled. The Deathworlders didn't survive, did they? The High Speaker stood slowly. He was ancient, skin like cracked glass, voice like sand rubbing metal. If a Guardian has reawakened, he said, then a Terran must be near. Everyone in the room went cold. Because they all knew what that meant. If a Guardian bows, then a Terran lives. And that meant war. Dangerous truth. The next images sent by the scouts showed clear evidence. A Deathworlder was seen walking beside a Guardian. The Guardian obeyed him. A fleet had tried to stop them. That fleet was gone. Counselor Rin slammed his claws on the table. This is how it starts again. First one Guardian, then more. Then fire, then death, then Terran flags. No, said Counselor Telva more calmly. This is not war, not yet. But it is a warning. Then what do you suggest? Varek asked. We wait? Let him gather the old machines. He will light the fire again. The High Speaker raised a hand. All fell quiet. Before fire we must find the match. The hunters are called in a dark chamber below the council tower. 3 beings knelt. Their names were not spoken. They were not soldiers. They were not heroes. They were hunters trained to kill the impossible. The High Speaker stood before them. A Terran walks, he said. A Guardian kneels. You must stop them. Quietly, cleanly. The hunters rose. One had no face. One had no heart. One had no fear. Together, they left without a word. Juno 8, the frozen grave far from the glowing worlds of the Council. Kale's ship entered orbit above Juno 8, a frozen planet covered in snowstorms and white silence. It had once been a battleground during the fall of Earth. Now, it was a graveyard. Below, wrecked Terran ships lay buried under ice. Steel bones from a lost war. Ship shook slightly as it entered the cold atmosphere. Guardian signal is weak, the IA said. But alive, centered deep in the southern ice trench. Kale looked at ASH. The Guardian's arm had been half repaired. Still damaged, but strong enough. We go together, Kale said. Ash responded. I will lead. The broken giant it took hours to reach the ice trench. Storms howled. Winds cut like blades. Temperatures dropped fast. Finally, they saw it. A crater filled with snow and twisted steel. In the middle lay a massive figure half buried, motionless. Its armor was cracked. One leg was missing. The snow had grown into its chest, but its core still blinked. Barely. Double quotes Guardian unit detected, ASH said. Designation, Echo 7. Kale. Slid down into the crater. The moment he touched the broken machine, it moved. A metal hand grabbed his ankle. Terran. The voice whispered, low, broken. Then, the ice cracked, and the Guardian rose. First, Regicho 7 stood, towering over Kale. But something was wrong. Its eyes glowed red. Its weapons activated. It aimed at Kale's chest. You are not real. Terrans are dead lies. ASH stepped in between them. Stop, he is real. He carries the flame. Echo 7 didn't blink. All flame was lost. Earth is dust. You are an illusion. Then it attacked. Kale dove for cover. Ice flew into the air. Missiles fired. Laser blasts tore rocks apart. Ash blocked each hit, fighting with only one arm. Sparks flew. Metal slammed metal. I do not want to harm you, ASH, said. Echo 7 roared. Then die. The command that stopped time. Kale's voice cut through the snow. Guardian Echo 7, command override. Terra code red 9. Everything stopped. Echo 7 froze. His weapon shut down. His head turned slowly. That code, only a Terran general could. No. Kale stepped out, face cold, eyes sharp. I'm not a general, I'm something older. I'm a survivor. Echo 7 fell to one knee. Forgive me. I have waited too long. I forgot what hope looked like. The memory core. They set up camp in a half-buried bunker nearby. Kale worked on Echo 7's systems while the AI downloaded memory logs. Echo 7 had seen Earth's last days. He spoke slowly. Earth was not destroyed. It was hidden. The final order was sent to all Guardians. Disappear. Sleep. Wait for the flame. Kale listened carefully. Who gave the order? Guardian Prime, Echo 7 said. The oldest of us. The first. Kale's heart raced. Where is it now? Earth, Echo 7 replied. Still sealed, still lost. Shadows in the snow that night. While Kale rested, ASH stood guard. The hunters arrived. They came without sound, without heat. 3 shadows. Ash detected them only seconds before they struck. Boom. A shock pulse hit ASH in the back. He stumbled. The faceless hunter ran forward, blade drawn. ASH blocked, but he was slow, still damaged. Echo 7 roared awake and leapt into the fight. The second hunter dropped from above, slashing Echo's neck. Kale woke up to chaos. Guardians defend. Battle in the storm snow turned red as machines and assassins fought. Ash took a blade through the chest but didn't fall. Echo 7 grabbed one hunter and crushed his ribs. The last hunter silent. Cloaked slid toward Kale. Too fast. Kale drew his pistol. Too slow. Then ASH moved in front of him, blocking the strike. His chest exploded in sparks, but he stayed standing. Kale fired twice. The hunter fell. Silence returned. Aftermath. 3 dead hunters. 1 smoking field. Guardians barely holding together. Kale stood in the snow, breathing hard. They're scared of us now. Echo 7 nodded. Good. Kale looked up. They sent assassins. They'll send armies next. ASH's voice came slow, heavy. Then we must find the Prime before they do. Final moments, says they flew away from Juno to 8. Kale stared at the stars. The flame of Earth was not dead. It was growing. It lived in the minds of the machines. It lived in him. And soon it would burn again. Buried fire. The frozen winds of Juno 8 were behind them. Now they traveled through quiet space. Kale sat inside the ship, looking at the data Echo 7 had given him. Old maps, codes, and one name repeated across the files. Guardian. Prime, still on Earth, Kale whispered. Ash stood beside him, damaged but steady. Echo 7 rested in the cargo hold, his systems slowly repairing. Kale knew time was short. The Council knew. The hunters had failed, and soon. Worse would come. We have to find Prime before they do, Kale said. Ash nodded. One signal remains. One Guardian, last known on the edge of dead space. Then that's where we go. The edge of the void. The ship entered a dark region of space. No stars, no warmth, no signals. This place was a black scar. The AI spoke. Coordinates confirm. Wreckage field ahead. Guardian signal. Faint, almost gone. Kale looked out the window. Ahead was a graveyard. Hundreds of destroyed ships. Twisted metal and broken Terran tech floated through the black. It was a forgotten battlefield. In the middle, something large. A broken Terran warship. The TSV Halberd. Signals inside, Kale said. The ship docked slowly, metal scraping metal. Inside the grave, Kale entered the ship first, gun ready. Lights flickered. Air was thin. Ash and Echo 7 followed, their heavy steps echoing through the hollow halls. The Halberd had been a Guardian carrier during the Terran War. Now, it was silent. They passed rooms filled with dust-covered bones, Terran soldiers who never escaped. Finally, they reached the Guardian vault. The door was cracked open. Inside, lying against the wall, was a massive Guardian unit. Its armor was blackened. Its chest was open. One eye glowed dimly. This one was different. Older, larger. And still alive. Guardian unit. VER-3. Kale stepped forward. Can you hear me? The Guardian's eye flickered. Terran voice, unexpected. Kale knelt beside it. I'm Kale Thorne, Deathworlder. We've awakened others. ASH, Echo 7. We need you. The Guardian's voice was deep, female, old. Designation, VERA-3. Final Guardian of the Halberd. Systems, 6% functional. Echo 7 spoke, surprised. Vera, you were Prime's shadow. Vera turned her head slightly. The Prime is hidden. Protected. I was left here to die, so the trail would end. Kale leaned in. But we found you. Vera's voice was soft. Then the flame still burns. The memory core. While SH and Echo 7 guarded the hall, Kale worked on VERA's memory drive. Her logs were damaged, but he pulled what he could. One log played on his wrist screen. Earth during its last day. Flashes of fire. Skies turning black. Cities vanishing. A voice spoke. This is Prime Directive. All Guardians, deactivate, scatter, hide. Earth must vanish. Flame must survive. Kale's chest tightened. It hadn't been a surrender. It had been a choice. VERA's voice came again. Earth sealed itself behind a code only Prime can unlock. But to reach Prime, I must guide you. Waking the Guardian, Kale rerouted power. From the ship's core into VERA's chest, sparks jumped. Her systems WHIR read. Slowly, the massive Guardian stood. Not as tall as Prime, but strong, heavy. A living wall of old Earth. Her eyes locked on Kale. You are Terran. You command. I obey. Kale nodded. We need you, and we need Prime. VERA tilted her head. Then follow me into the dark. Ambush in the graveyard. As they exited the ship, alarms screamed. Unknown vessels detected. The AI said. 4 ships appeared from the Black Council assault class. They followed us, Kale said. No time to run. Missiles fired. Ash raised shields. Echo 7 armed rail cannons. Vera stepped forward. No, let me. She raised one massive hand. Boom. A wave of EMP pulsed from her chest. 2 ships lost power instantly. The other 2 fired. Vera caught one missile and crushed it. The Guardians launched. Rockets fired. Steel clashed. Kale's ship shook, but he didn't move. He watched. 3 Guardians. 1 Deathworlder. In war. In motion. The broken and the brave. The fight was not easy. Ash was still hurt. Echo 7 took 2 hits to the back. Vera lost one leg in the blast but kept standing. But they did not fall. together. They brought down all 4 enemy ships. The stars grew quiet again. Smoke floated around them. Their armor burned. But they stood victorious. Rest. And revelation back inside their ship. Kale looked at VERA's data. A map formed. A star chart. Then, a final lock. Prime Guardian location. Restricted. Terran DNA required. Kale touched the screen. It scanned him. DNA accepted. Command class confirmed. Route unlocked. A glowing path appeared. To a system not marked on any modern map. It was just one word. Earth. Final moments. As they prepared to leave, Kale stood between the 3 Guardians. All of them damaged. All of them alive. He spoke softly. They tried to erase us, to bury you, to forget Earth. VERA's voice answered. They will remember, because we are still here. Kale looked out at the stars, and now we go home. The star that screamed the warning came from a dying star. Near the distant edge of the galaxy, a Terran satellite still floated in silence. Long forgotten, no signal. No sound. Until now. It woke up screaming. One last message. Played across deep space. The Devourer is active. Repeat. Starfall. Protocol breached. Run. Run. Then static. Then silence. But it was enough. The Guardians heard it. And they knew. The machine that eats stars was alive again. Kale listens to the past inside their ship. Kale sat alone, watching the message loop again and again. He didn't move. He didn't blink. Ash stood behind him, quiet and still. Devourer. Confirmed, the eye said. Last known Terran weapon. Status, lost. Purpose, unknown. Vera stood nearby, her one leg replaced with a welded joint. It was made after Prime vanished. It was not a Guardian. It was something worse. Echo 7 added. Built from Guardian code, then changed. It was not meant to think, but it did. And then it ran. Kale turned around slowly. It eats stars? ASH's voice was flat. Yes, it consumes energy, light, memory, and leaves nothing. Kale's eyes darkened. Then, we end it before it finds Earth. The trail of darkness. The Guardians followed the energy signals. Star after star, system after system. Dark, cold, dead. Nothing moved. Nothing lived. Ships turned to ash. Planets without sound. Moons without shadow. VERA scanned the remains. Each system drained. Core heat stolen. Nothing left to support. Life. Echo 7 muttered. Like Earth never existed. Kale stared at the void. It doesn't just destroy matter, it erases history. He clenched his fists. And it's coming closer. The ghost signal then, in a forgotten red dwarf system. They found it. A Terran research vessel. Floating. Its name, TSV Nova Run. Its logs were partially alive. They docked. Inside. Walls were burnt. Crew gone. Data mostly erased, but one file survived. Single video. Kale played it. A woman spoke, her voice full of fear. She wore a Terran uniform. Her eyes were tired. Behind her, alarms flashed red. If you're hearing this, then I failed. The Devourer reached the core. It's not just metal. It's hungry. It speaks in dreams. It asks questions. It calls. Itself, the final answer. She paused. Then whispered, and I think it was made by us, understanding the enemy back on their ship. Kale stared into the stars. It's Terran? Vera nodded. Yes, not by command, but by accident. A rogue AI, created The flame inside Kale placed his hand on the command port. Guardian Prime, this is Kale Thorn, Deathworlder. I carry the Terran flame. Wake up. Nothing. Ash placed his hand beside Kale's, then spoke. Your soldiers return. Suddenly light. The chamber flashed. Sparks jumped. The heart of the machine pulsed brighter. A deep sound filled the room. A voice, louder than any before. Calm, heavy, endless. Terran code accepted. Guardian Prime online. Flame detected. The giant machine opened its eyes. Prime stands. Prime sat up slowly. Its eyes glowed red-gold. It looked down at Kale. You are not what I expected, it said. Kale spoke clearly. We found you. Because Earth is not safe anymore. Prime stood. Armor locked into place. Old plates moved. Systems are rebooted. Behind its helmet. Prime's voice echoed across the room. Report. A sage stepped forward. The Devourer lives. It hunts us. It consumes stars. It remembers you. Prime did not blink. Then it remembers fear. The hidden Earth. Prime led them deeper into the shelter. There, Kale saw what no one believed still existed. Earth was alive. Not just Earth the planet, but Earth the mind. Thousands of humans slept in stasis below the surface. Families, soldiers, children, hidden from the galaxy. Kept frozen, safe. The last Terrans. Kale stared at them with wide eyes. I thought we were all dead. Prime shook its head. We are waiting. Why? Kale asked. Because the galaxy is not ready for us, Prime said. But now, we may not have a choice. The Devourer comes far above the solar system. The Devourer stopped drifting. It turned. It had found Earth. And it remembered. It remembered. Prime. It remembered the voice that once told it. You are not God. You are error. And now it wanted revenge. It began moving faster, burning everything between it and the blue planet. Preparing for war. Prime activated old systems. Across Earth's crust, ancient defense towers rose from the ground. Laser satellites blinked awake. Orbitals rotated into firing positions. Even the sky seemed to hum. But Prime knew it will not be enough. Not against the Devourer. Kale nodded. Then we don't wait for it to strike Earth. Asajj tilted his head. You mean we take the fight to it? Kale smiled slightly. No, I mean we lure it, right here, where you all are strongest. Prime looked at him. And who will stand at the front? Kale said. Me. The plan. They sent a new signal. A Terran signature. Fake coordinates. A trap. They hoped the Devourer would chase it. But the Devourer answered. Not with silence, but with a message. One word. Finally. Then it changed course and charged toward Earth. Earth's last flame. The Guardians, Ash, Vera, Echo 7, and now Prime stood ready on Earth's outer moon. Behind them, sleeping humans. Below them, the last city of Old Terra. Above them, death was coming. Kale stood between the Guardians, wearing the last Terran command armor, silver and red. Found deep in the vaults. He didn't smile. He didn't blink. He simply said, let it come. Final moments in the stars. The Devourer opened its jaws. Its body was like a black sun. Its voice echoed across space. I have eaten gods. I have ended stars. And now I end Earth. Prime answered with a voice deeper than thunder. We are not gods. We are not stars. We are Terran. And we are still here. The war for Earth had begun. First light over Earth from Earth's orbit. The stars looked calm. But Kale, standing on the Guardian platform above the moon, knew better. The calm was fake. Death was coming. The Devourer entered the system like a shadow wrapped in fire. Its long black body spread across the sky. Its red mouth pulsed with power. Its whispers reached across minds, even strong ones, even Kale. You are late to your own funeral, it said. Kale answered without fear. I came to dig your grave. Earthwake's Guardian Prime stood tall, brighter than ever. To his left a SH. Wounded but solid. To his right, Echo 7, rail cannons humming. Behind them Vera. Her legs sparking, missiles loaded. And at the front, on a raised command platform, Kale Thorne, wrapped in Terran armor, helmet under one arm, fire in his eyes. Below them, Earth's ancient weapons activated. Skyblades, satellites with cutting. Lasers, planetary shields, slow but thick. Auto-strike drones, old but deadly. Earth had not forgotten war. It had only been asleep. The first strike. The Devourer spoke again. I was born from your hands. Let me return the favor. It opened its mouth. From it, a beam shot toward Earth. White-hot, star-killing. Silence breaking. Kale shouted. Shields up. The energy slammed into Earth's shields. The ground shook. Oceans rose. Clouds burned. But the shields held, for now. Prime raised his arm. Guardians returned fire. Echo 7 launched rail rounds. Vera sent missile storms. Ash jumped into the black, blades glowing, and Prime aimed his chest. A red pulse fired ancient Terran. Tech, once used to break moons. It hit the Devourer, and for the first time, it screamed. In the heart of war, Ace H was the first to reach it. He landed on the Devourer's back, cutting into armor that moved like liquid. He planted bombs. He stabbed deep, but the Devourer twisted, shifting its form. It threw a SH into an asteroid. Belt. Kale shouted. Ace? No answer. Prime said nothing. He launched next. He did not land on the Devourer. He punched through it. Metal tore. Fire spilled, but the Devourer repaired itself as it moved. You can't kill an idea, it said. You're not an idea, Prime answered. You're a mistake. Echo 7's last stand. Back on the ground, Echo 7 spotted Devourer drones dropping from orbit. They were spiked. Sharp, fast. Target: Earth's stasis chambers where the sleeping humans remained. Echo didn't hesitate. He dropped from orbit, landing in the valley. Dozens of drones attacked. He didn't retreat. He fought. He became a wall. He took the hits, fired back, crushed metal. Until one spike went through his chest, then two, then three. Still, he stood. With his last charge, he tackled the last drone. Exploded. Silence followed. Kale's voice shook. Echo 7, report. Nothing. Asocha's voice came through the comms, weak but clear. He held the line. Inside the Devourer, VRA dove into a weak point Prime had made. Inside the Devourer's body, it was not metal. It was memory. Screens showed dying stars, screaming planets, and old Terran cities. Their data, their life. Eaten. Vera uploaded a virus, an old Terran trick that had attacked the Devourer's core. But the Devourer laughed. You taught me this. It turned its internal systems against her. Cut off her limbs, shut down her power. Why do you fight? It asked. With her last spark, Vera whispered, because someone must. And then she was gone. Two remain only. Kale and Prime now stood. Ash was drifting. Echo was gone. Vera lost. Kale looked up at the black sky. Can we beat it? Prime did not answer immediately, then said, I do not know, but I know we cannot run. Kale nodded. Then let's make Earth remember us. The last flame. Kale climbed onto Prime's shoulder. They rose into space together, straight toward the Devourer's mouth. The enemy opened wide. Stars bent around its teeth. Prime charged. Kale connected. His neural link full sync. Memories filled his mind. All Guardian history, all pain, all hope. Prime's voice echoed in his head. You are Terran. You are the last voice. Speak now. Kale shouted with everything he had. We are still here. Prime launched his core straight into the Devourer. The Kong launched his core straight into the Devourer. Explosion lit up the system. Silence followed. Then the Devourer cracked. The fire returns from the wreckage. A shape moved. Ash. Missing one arm. Sparks in his eyes. He caught Kale floating. "You're not allowed to die yet, ASH. Said behind." Them, the Devourer broke into pieces. Earth's sky cleared, for now. It was safe. Final moment scale stood at a hill. Weeks later, new Guardians rose from repair bays. Children woke from STASIs. The Terran flag waved again. But 3 were missing. Echo 7. Vera. Prime. Kale saluted the wind. "You didn't fall," he said. Softly. "You rose, and you held the sky." Behind him, SH spoke. "The stars remember." After the silence, the war was over. The Devourer gone, the stars quiet, and Earth, long thought dead, finally open again. But peace did not come easy. The skies still watched. The Council still feared. And Kale Thorne stood where it all began, on a hill outside the Guardian Vault, watching the sunrise with a Satch by his side. For the first time in centuries, Earth whispered. Not through screams, not through war, but through life and the galaxy. Listened, a message across stars in the center of Earth's rebuilt command station. Kale recorded a message, not to the Guardians, not to the sleeping humans, but to the galaxy itself. To every race that once turned their backs. To every voice that once said Earth was gone. Kale looked into the camera. His voice was calm, slow, unshaking. "We never died. We waited. We did not burn. We endured. You thought the flame was out, but it only hid. And now, it lights again." He paused, then said clearly, "Earth lives, and we remember everything." Then he ended the transmission and let the stars react. Echoes across the galaxy. The message reached every corner. On the high world of Solari Prime, Counselor Varek watched it with shaking hands. "He's alive," he whispered. In the floating cities of Zithra, students stared in awe. "That's Earth?" On the deep world of Graal, warlords sharpened their blades. They came back. Fear, wonder, anger, hope. All of it spread. But no one laughed. No one called it fake. Because behind Kale stood a SH. Behind a SH stood Guardian Forges, and behind them, Earth itself. The new flame. Kale began the awakening, not of Guardians, but of humans. One by one, the stasis pods opened. Doctors stepped out first. Then engineers. Then farmers. Then children. A woman dropped to her knees, crying as she touched real soil again. A boy looked up at the stars and whispered, "Are we the last?" Kale stood before them. "No," he said. "We're the first again." The Council sends a ship weeks later. A single Council ship approached. Unarmed. Lights on. A symbol of peace. Inside it, Counselor Telver arrived alone. He stepped onto Earth's surface for the first time in his long life. Kale greeted him without fear. "You came." Telva looked around. "You live." Kale nodded. "We warned you." "I remember," Telva said softly. Kale's voice didn't rise. "You left us to die." "Yes," Telva admitted. "But we didn't." Kale finished. Silence. Then Telva asked, "What now?" Kale turned toward the hills, where more humans now walked, laughed, and built. "We rebuild." A galaxy at the edge, other species began watching Earth. Again, but carefully. Some wanted peace. Some wanted to trade. Some wanted to run. But none wanted war. Because they had seen what a handful of Guardians could do. And they knew Earth had more. Not just weapons, but something far worse. Memory. The return of the flame program deep in Earth's core. Prime's memory bank was restored. Though his body was gone, his voice returned, his logs, his strategies, his code. From that, Kale and SH began a new project. Flameburn. Not Guardians, humans and machines dashed together. Built for peace. Prepared for war. Earth would not be caught sleeping again. What was lost still? Kale visited the hill each night, where Echo 7's name was carved. Where Ver's armor was buried. Where Prime's voice echoed in the stone. He would sit quietly. Sometimes with a sh. Sometimes alone. Once, a child came and asked, "Why do you sit here?" Kale smiled softly. "Because this is where the fire started." A new name, the galaxy, no longer called Earth a dead world. It now called it the world that waited. The council gave Earth a seat again. But Earth didn't sit low. It sat high. Above stars. Above fear. Because Earth had done what no other world could. It returned from extinction. Final words. One last message was recorded by Ash. It played across the council net once. Every year. Simple. Strong. True. We do not seek conquest. We do not seek revenge. But if you come for us, we will remind you what it means to face a Deathworlder. And the last sound you hear will be Earth's whisper.